welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Too Faced Christmas Cookie House Party Makeup Collection. If you do want to see a review and a demo, please keep watching. This collection retails for $58 at Sephora and TooFaced.com. Here's a closer look at what the packaging looks like. It is so cute. I mainly purchased this collection because of the cute packaging. It says Too Faced here at the top. How cute is this little gingerbread house? It says Christmas cookie. When you turn the packaging to the back, you do have the eyeshadow palette. It comes with a blush, a bronzer, a highlighter, and another eyeshadow palette. You get the Gingerbread Man matte liquid lipstick. You get the eyeshadow primer and the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. So at the top there is this little tab here. And let's see what's inside. At the top you do have the liquid lip and then the eyeshadow primer. Here's what the mini liquid lipstick looks like in Gingerbread Man. The packaging is the same from last year. It has a little Gingerbread Man and does come with their original doe foot applicator. Let's swatch this. It's a beautiful burnt orange shade. Here we have the deluxe eyeshadow primer. Here's just a little snippet of what the eyeshadow primer looks like. Feels very nice. I don't normally use eyeshadow primer. Since it's here, I will use it. Since we already swatched the eyeshadow primer, let's apply some on the lid. I'm going to take a little bit from the back of my hand. My eyes are all primed and we're good to go. Let's open up the eyeshadow palette. Here's what the Christmas cookie house looks like. You get the bronzer at the top and then the two eyeshadows here and then the mascara. So let's start with the bronzer. Let's open this up. Let me remove this plastic. Oh, it's magnetic. Oh, it doesn't have a mirror. I like when things have mirrors. At the top it does say Too Faced. You get two bronzers and a blush. So let's swatch the first one. Pan is very dry. Oh, this is a highlighter. Let's swatch it. That's pigmented. That's called Get Frosted. I like that Too Faced did add the names here on the side. Next up is the blush. Again, not as buttery as I was expecting it to be. Here's the blush in Daydreamer. It's soft. Lastly, we do have the bronzer in Extra Toasty. Again, not as buttery. I'm super surprised with their formula. Normally Too Faced's bronzers, blushes, highlighters, they're super buttery, but these aren't. They're very dry. There's the bronzer in Extra Toasty. Here's what the bronzer looks like. You can barely see what the bronzer looks like on my skin complexion. It's not even there. For me, the blush and the highlighter work on me. I do, however, adore the packaging. It does say on the outside of the packaging that it smells like gingerbread. Let's see if that's accurate. It's very faint. I can barely smell the gingerbread in this. Hopefully the eyeshadows are better than this. Next item up is this eyeshadow palette. Here's a closer look of what the eyeshadow palette looks like. The packaging is adorable. You can feel some glitter specks. And then here's what the back looks like. It's just plain pink with some frosting dripping down. Let's open this up. Packaging is a little bit different because it does have that plush feel to it, but it's cardboard. Anyways, let's open this up. Here we have the eyeshadows. Does this fold back? Yes, it does. How cute are the gingerbread people? They are adorable, and the little design here. This is beautiful. This is why I purchased it. Hopefully the quality of the eyeshadows are phenomenal. We will test that out in a minute. There's one more little eyeshadow palette in here that I wanted to show you guys first before we get started. Here's what the little 6-pan eyeshadows look like. Again, it's a little book. How cute. They 'tis the season to sparkle. Then here we have 6 of the new exclusive shadows. I think it's fair that we swatch the big eyeshadow palette first, then we will swatch the mini. And then lastly, we have the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. This mascara is phenomenal. I really love how this mascara lengthens my lashes. I love the wand on it. The wand is a little bit wide. It does coat every single one of my lashes. So now we're going to swatch all 20 shadows in this eyeshadow palette. Let me see if this smells like gingerbread. Doesn't smell like gingerbread to me. I'm going to remove these swatches that I currently have on the back of my hand. That way we can swatch the eyeshadows. I tried as best as I could to remove the liquid lip in Gingerbread Man, but it didn't come out. It does stain a little bit. Let's start with the swatches. The first shade we're going to swatch is called Snowflake. Not buttery in the pan, feeling very dry. Here's what the shade in Snowflake looks like. The shade in Snowflake is described as an iridescent cream with a gold sparkle. Pretty nice shadow. I like it. The next shade is called Sled No One Ever. Again, not as buttery. I'm curious to see how these shadows blend on the lid. Here's what the shade in Sled No One Ever. Sled No One Ever is described as a matte taupe mauve shade. You can barely see that shade on the back of my hand. Maybe that would be a good transition shadow for me. I blended that shade out with my finger and you can barely see it showing up on the back of my hand. The next shade is called Santa's Favorite. Okay, this is super creamy in the pan. Now at least I have some hope. This is why purple is my favorite color, because it never lets me down. Santa's Favorite is described as a fuchsia with a gold shift. Yes, that shadow is beautiful. It's pigmented, but wow, this is what I was expecting from Too Faced. Quality, the swatch, the pigmentation, everything feels so good. Let's see what the next shade looks like. The next shade is called That's My Jam. This is very buttery in the pan. Here's what That's My Jam looks like. That's My Jam is described as a matte violet shade. That's beautiful. The first shade in the second row is called Cream Filling. A little bit dry in the pan, not super buttery like the last two shades were. Here's what Cream Filling looks like. Cream Filling is described as a matte cream shade. This shade swatched a little bit too ashy for my liking. We'll see how this shade does look like applied on the lid. The next shade is called Icing on Top. Ooh, buttery in the pan. That's what I like. Here's what that shade looks like. Icing on Top is described as a metallic champagne with a gold undertone. The shade in Icing on Top is gorgeous. Definitely want to apply that all over my lid. Right next to Icing on Top, we have Nooks and Cranberries. It feels good in the pan. Ooh, very pigmented. Nooks and Cranberries is described as a matte cranberry shade. The next shade is called Ginger Bells. How cute. Ooh, this is so soft in the pan, you guys. Wow. There we have Ginger Bells. Ginger Bells is described as a matte, vibrant peach shade. It's a nice shadow. The first shade in the third row is called I Love Yule. How cute. Ooh, this is so soft in the pan, super pigmented and reflective. I Love Yule is described as a rose gold shimmer. Beautiful. Look at that. The next shade is called Tinseltown. Another buttery shadow in the pan. Look at that. Tinseltown is described as a lilac aqua shift. That's interesting. The next shade is called Cinna Magic. Oh my goodness, you guys, this is so buttery. Cinna Magic is described as a metallic copper shadow. Beautiful. I love it. The next shade is called Secret Santa. This is so buttery in the pan as well. Here's what Secret Santa looks like. Secret Santa is described as a matte sable brown. I'm loving all these shades so far. They're pigmented, they're creamy, they're buttery. Moving down to the fourth row, we have the shade in Oh Snap. Not as creamy, but it's pigmented. Oh Snap is described as a matte chocolate brown shade. I can use this shade to smoke out the eyes. The next shade is called Don't Hate, Decorate. Very buttery in the pan. I wish you guys can feel this as I'm swatching it. And super pigmented. Don't Hate, Decorate is described as a metallic lavender brown. Ooh, wow. That's beautiful. The next shade is called Get Elfed Up. It's not as buttery as the previous shade. It does have some pigment to it. Get Elfed Up is described as a metallic green gold shift. That's an interesting shade as well. Since I am running out of space to swatch, we're going to be swatching the remaining shades on the right side of my hand. The next shade is called What a Batch. So buttery in the pan. Here's what a Batch looks like. What a Batch is described as a matte soft brown shade. You can barely see that shadow. And the first shade in the last row is called Drink Up Grinches. It's a cute name. Ooh, this feels super buttery in the pan. This is a super pigmented green. Drink Up Grinches is described as a deep green shift. I think I'm going to use that shade all over the lid. The next shade is called Kiss and Caramel. This is extremely buttery in the pan as well. This shadow is gorgeous. Shimmering gold shade. The next shade is called Hot and Cold. Not as buttery. It's a little bit scratchy in the pan. Pigmented. Hot and Cold is described as black with blue and gold sparkle. This was the first shade in the eyeshadow palette that was patchy. And the last shade is called Easy Bake Loving. Very creamy in the pan as well. Easy Bake Loving is described as a metallic bronze shade. Gorgeous. Here's what all 20 shades looks like in the eyeshadow palette. I do also want to swatch these 6 shades in this eyeshadow palette, so let's quickly do that. The first shade we have is called Frost Yourselves. What in the world? Just glitter specks. I do want to swatch this really quickly. Oh no. No. This is chunks of glitter. Too Faced, what in the world is this? Chunks of glitter doing in an eyeshadow palette. Chunks of glitter should never be near your eyes. Imagine if that went into your eye. I will not be using these 4 shades on my eyelids but I do want to swatch it for you guys just to see what it looks like. Again, here we have Frost Yourself. Super chunky glitter. I don't like that. The next shadow is called Miss Crinkle. No, this doesn't feel good in the pan at all either. It's just chunks of glitter. Here's Miss Crinkle. I don't like how the shadow looks on the back of my finger. It looks like I applied glue on my finger and I applied glitter on top of it. It doesn't even look good. What in the world was Too Faced thinking about putting these shadows in a Christmas collection? The next shade is called Snow Pink. So here we have Snow Pink. And the next glitter shade is called All My Glitters. It's just straight up glitter, you guys. I don't like the feeling of this. I definitely think you do have to use an eyeshadow primer using these 4 shadows. Here's what that shade looks like. I would never put these near my eyes. We're gonna quickly swatch the bottom 2 shadows. These shades are very creamy in the pan. Here's what those 2 shades look like. Here we have On a Roll and Can't Catch Me. On a Roll is this one, and then Can't Catch Me is this one. They're beautiful matte shadows. Here we have all 26 shades applied on the back of my hand. Now we're gonna create a look using this eyeshadow palette. First shade I am gonna be dipping into is called What a Batch. Taking that on a fluffy crease brush. Taking that shade and blending it all over my crease. I'm gonna be using that as my transition shade. I love how the shade in What a Batch blended out. The next shade I'm gonna be using my finger. It's called Drink Up Grinches. We're gonna be using this all over the lid. Just that much. We're just gonna be applying that all over the lid. Taking a flat brush, that way I have a little bit more control over the shade. I love how pigmented this shade is. Going back using my fluffy brush, we're gonna dip into What a Batch, apply that inner crease again. Here's how the eye look did turn out. I know we used just 2 shades, but I really do love how it blended, how it built up. It looks gorgeous. Now we're going to play with the blush, the highlighter, and the bronzer. I'm just using my blush brush. That's just a little bit. I really wish that Too Faced did add a mirror to this collection. This blush is super pink. I do need to tone it down. Now we're going to dip into this bronzer. Let's see how this bronzer applies. You can barely see it. My camera battery just died. I had to leave it on the charger for about an hour, so I do apologize about the different setting. Going back to the bronzer, it's barely there. You can see it. I'm not a huge fan of the bronzer. I do want to see what this highlighter looks like. I'm using just a regular eyeshadow brush because my highlighter brush is currently drying because I washed all my brushes. Let's apply this highlighter. This highlighter is blinding. Blendable, that's something I love. Buildable. Let's apply a little bit of the highlighter on this side of my cheek. I do want to apply this matte liquid lip while I tell you guys my final thoughts on everything. Oh no, it doesn't work with this look, but we're gonna put it on anyways. This actually smells like gingerbread. It's the only scented product. Everything else did not smell like gingerbread in my opinion. I love this matte liquid lipstick, I just don't love it with the look. I am going to go into this little eyeshadow palette here. We're going to apply this glitter shade, Snow Pink, in the center of my lips. I definitely think I can use this as a topper. Not on my eyes. I like it as a lip topper. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. The battery in my camera is currently flashing, so that means my camera is about to die. The bronzer, the highlighter, and the blush, it wasn't my favorite. The bronzer did not show up on me. I mean, it's very faint. The bronzer that I do love from Too Faced, and it's part of their holiday collection, is their Gingerbread Tan Spicy Bronzer. I did a dedicated video on this bronzer and lipstick tube it did come with. I will link it right over here in the cards if you guys are interested. But this bronzer is my absolute favorite. This bronzer does not compare to this one. The blush in this palette was too pinky for me, but it was extremely pigmented. The highlighter I did like. It is very subtle. The mini 6-pan eyeshadow palette I did not like at all. I did not like these chunks of glitter shades. Very chunky in the pan. It does not feel good at all. The 2 matte shades I really like how they did swatch on the back of my hand. I have not applied them to my lid, but I will soon be testing them out. The 20-pan eyeshadow palette I was not a fan of. You do have to use an eyeshadow primer with this palette. That's why I think they included it, because using these shadows alone, you won't get any pigmentation. After I swatched every shade in this eyeshadow palette on my arm, I blended out a couple of shadows and they were very powdery on my hand. I wish I could have kept the swatches on the back of my hand, but it was getting out of control, so I decided to use a makeup wipe and remove everything. $58 for 3 palettes, plus you get a liquid lipstick and an eyeshadow primer. I think it's too high of a price tag. I think this set should have been $40, $39, somewhere around that range. I think that would have been a better value. If you guys are planning to purchase this collection, definitely get it on sale. don't pay full price like I did. I do want to quickly mention to you guys the lip shade I am currently wearing. It's by e.l.f. It's the e.l.f. X Anabella Collection. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.